Have you lost your lust for life due to a simple inconvenience? Well then, pull up a chair and hear my tale. For tonight is a magical one, or lack thereof. So listen closely. I'm Eisenbrandt, by the way. But in these parts, I'm also known as the Storyteller. There was once a great wizard, not too old was he, and when magic went missing from the land, he looked far and wide for ways to bring it back. At this time, he was serving the great council, where a lot of deceitful beards thrived. As great as he thought he was, the people didn't have any affection for him. This infuriated the wizard, so he thought that if he could make magic return, the public would be singing his songs until the end of time. One day, he met a beautiful young woman from a distant land who knew the answer to his problem. But this woman was as cunning and deceitful as anyone he'd ever met. For the woman worked for no lord nor master, for she was herself a lady, one who was once married to a lord who had fallen ill and died under mysterious circumstances. Yes, she was treacherous indeed, one who cannot be trusted if his life is put on the line. So he spoke with the woman when the chance arrived.
How can we bring back magic in the world, one which has been so fleeting?
There are mines to the east and to the north which should solve your problems.
The lady replied.
Mines, you say? How can bouldering help my problem?
The wizard asked in jest.
There are certain elements you see, special rocks, which if treated with the right alchemical solution, may bring a spark of magic back.
The lady answered.
A spark? Are you joking? We would need more than a spark if we want to live for the next century.
A spark is all we need if we want to ignite the flames of the ancients. What harm will it cause us if we won't try?
The lady reasoned. The wizard scratched his pointy beard once, twice, and a third time for good measure.
Tell me more.
He was surely intrigued. And so events were set in motion to secure these mines with the hopes of regaining magic in the land. But the lady, as duplicitous as she was, had other plans up her sleeve. What the wizard didn't know was that she was secretly a conjurer herself, and only wanted to use the city's resources for her gain. What many forgot was that there was a long-standing war between the knights from the north and the wizards to the south that ended over a century ago, or so they have thought. Since then, the knights have been trying to reclaim what little glory they have left. Due to this cataclysmic event of magic disappearing, the knights saw this as a sign to reclaim their power. The young lady knew this as a means to bide her time, using this rift as a distraction for her to steal the elements in the mine for herself. As the Great Council sent its ministers to secure the rights to the mines and their surrounding borders, the lady along with her group of brigands kept murdering these envoys in secret, while placing the blame on the knights. Until one day when the wizard was fed up with all the atrocities, he finally urged the help of his spies. He sought out his finest emissary, the Master of Whispers, and requested him to once and for all put a stop to these killings and secure the mines. All this time, the wizard never had the slightest clue that it was the lady, after all, who was behind all these murders. And so the Master of Whispers set forth and assembled his team of spies and assassins to investigate. Word got through to the lady of the wizard's new plan, as she had a web of agents of her own. The game was afoot. Rogue against rogue. It became unsafe for common townsfolk to walk at night, let alone in an alley for who knows what lurks in the dark. Hushed murmurs in the shadows were a common sight, and dark corners became rendezvous points for mercenaries looking to make a fast coin. Both sides were attempting to gain the upper hand. Gold flooded the streets and lined the pockets of scoundrels. The shadows were again home to the cutthroats, and the Thieves' Guild was once more held in high regard. Oh, was it a dangerous time to be alive? At one point, the wizard's emissaries seemed to be outnumbered, but what they lacked in number, they made up for in skill and wit, since they employed only the wisest and most cunning in the Assassin's Guild, the Crescent Moon. When all seemed bleak for the young lady, she had but one last trick to play. The wizard did not know that she had an agent deep within the ranks of the Great Council. This agent unknowingly fed her information about the Master of Whispers and revealed a potential weakness at that. She learned that the Master kept an elven consort in secret. So with all her guile and gut, she found a way to kidnap the consort in an attempt to lure the Master out of his hiding place. Once the Master received a ransom note and learned of the kidnapping, he started to panic and became careless. Desperately wanting to rescue his beloved, the spy master charged onto the said meeting spot alone and fought his way through all the brigands that were present. The Crescent Moon and the Royal Guard followed soon, right after, upon learning of the abduction. Unbeknownst to all, the lady had a secret weapon, a black beast so foul that it could easily decimate a squad of soldiers with just a swipe of its claws. Oh, at that particular point in time, the scene was not looking well for the Master and his team. The soldiers were losing numbers one by one, and the Crescent Moon was slowly getting overwhelmed by the sheer volume of the opposition. When it all seemed to be the end for our heroes, suddenly, out of nowhere, a huge flying griffin swooped down from the clear sky, carrying a blonde elven ally of the Master, as he took out several brigands in the process. When the battle shifted in their favor, the Crescent Moon at last destroyed the beast, while the Master confronted the lady. After all was said and done, the Master found a way to get the upper hand. He struck down the lady with a fatal blow and successfully rescued his beloved. The lovers finally found their way into each other's arms as the embers of battle flickered away on the horizon. But surprisingly unexpected, in a desperate attempt at victory, from where she fell. The lady, still barely breathing, rolled over to face the couple, who were now in an embrace, and with her last ounce of strength threw a magical weapon aimed at the elven consort, who had her back to her. When the Master saw this in the corner of his eye, he quickly turned his lover around, taking the blow, killing him instantly. In a fit of rage, the elf struck the lady with one final swing, ending her life. The city mourned the Master of Whispers for weeks on after the ordeal, as he was a man of the people, which sparked the envy of his colleagues in court. As for the great wizard, with his detractors gone, he eventually was able to reclaim the mines for the capital and worked to slowly bring back magic to the land. As far as the knights are concerned, they are still up in the north, waiting for the right time to strike. But that's all for another story.